Lost on Lost Season 2, baby!
Hell yeah!
We've watched Seasons 1, 2, and 3 of Lost, and we've learned a lot.
Did we?
And we've learned to love Jack, Kate, Sawyer, Boone, and Claire.
Did we?
But now it's time for Seasons 4, 5, and 6.
That's right, we're still going to talk about the mysteries and mythologies of the island.
And obviously hot tropical hookups.
But now we're going to talk about things like the freighter,
The Others,
Charles Widmore,
The Lighthouse,
time travel,
9/11,
Ronald Reagan,
the Catholic Church,
Titus,
Gold Chains,
the military-industrial complex,
the Prison Industrial Complex,
the Void,
The Orb,
and so much more.
So strap on and strap down, because if you thought last season was confusing,
This is going to be so much worse. Or better if you like being lost on Lost. Strap on?
you heard me. Welcome, everybody, to Lost on Lost. My name is Adam Busher, and I'm joined, as always, by... I feel like he's been unstuck in time throughout my life, but I think I'm just moving around him. It's JP Russell, everybody.
You know, I'd say that it feels like it's only been years that we've been doing this podcast, but it really feels like tens of years.
Especially for the rest of us.
Oh, lordy.
That who could that be?
Yeah, as always, we've got a guest.
She's been upgraded from private girlfriend to fiance first class. Welcome back to the show, Kai Werner.
Thank you. Thanks for the ring also.
Yeah, are you wearing it right now?
I'm not.
Oh, ladies, I'm back on the market.
And this is, I guess, the touring version, because I'm here too also.
God, you're ugly.
I'm on the show, but like I'm here at your house again, like that one time.
Yeah.
It's actually really upsetting to see you talk into a microphone.
I have to live with this. So,
Actually,
you know.
Since we're in person, would you mind if I did something that I'm not able to do normally?
Sure.
Can you stand up, please?
Okay. Standing up.
Sit down!
Unreal.
There we go. That's better.
Unreal.
I feel better now.
Good. I'm glad.
Kai?
Yes.
So it's been a little bit since you've been on.
It has been.
I'm sure you've been listening to all the episodes.
All of them. Every night.
What have you been watching? What have we been watching since you were on last?
We have been almost exclusively watching Taskmaster.
Adam was kind enough to give us a year subscription to Taskmaster TV, and that's all we've watched for the last 2 months.
I've either been watching it or thinking about it or thinking of watching it.
Yeah, thinking of tasks.
Taskmaster, one of the things I love about it is that it is meant to be watched serialized.
Yeah.
That Alex Horn has said. It's like, yes, it's a game show, but it's really like a sitcom. Like,
Yeah.
you get more out of it if you watch episode to
Right.
episode to
You're
episode.
so invested in.
But if you just watch a random episode, you are going to be laughing your ass off,
Right.
regardless.
Right.
Cool. Taskmaster. I love that show.
It's
I
so
love
good.
it so much. We should do a Taskmaster podcast.
I was going to suggest that instead of this particular episode.
You didn't want to watch. You didn't want to watch.
No, I
Lost?
loved it. I
Yeah?
loved every moment of it.
Really?
You want to talk about it?
Yeah.
Should we talk?
I'd love to
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Today we're talking about Because You Left. Because You Left is the first episode of the 5th season of Lost and the 87th episode of Lost overall. Our centric character is none. Normally we say various, but in the spreadsheet it said none.
It felt like none.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? You're right. Well, Adam, do you have a recap?
Yeah.
I am so curious.
Imagine the island is a record. Specifically, Willie Nelson's 16th studio album, 1973's Shotgun Willie. On the island. Holy God.
Your nose is bleeding.
Where to begin? Sawyer doesn't have a shirt. Frogurt has a raft.
Yeah.
In the before times, well, the hatch didn't blow up, and the Beechcraft crashed, and in the after times, Locke's dead, I guess, or not.
Maybe.
Only sometimes.
And Locke's and Kate's stealing babies. This all happened because you left? By all fucking means, go back.
That's Adam, breathe. Remember to breathe.
Woo!
Ooh, yeah.
Mirage.
Lostpedia does not list how many days this is after the crash of Oceanic Flight 815 or whatever the other one is. I don't think the other one's happened yet.
Ajira has not happened.
Yeah, but it does not list how many days this is after.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah. But Because You Left originally aired on January 21st, 2009. It was written by ya boys, Hughes and Lindelof, and was directed by Stephen Williams. Joke about those three guys. Lostpedia lists the only flashback in this episode as Dr. Chang, to which I say, fuck you.
Really?
Yes. The cold open is the only thing they list as the flashback, which is insane.
And it belongs to Dr. Chang.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know how else they would list it. Go ahead and
Moving on.
Go ahead and give us an attempt
Fair.
if you.
Shut up, honey.
Okay, well, so we open in flashback.
Oh.
One of them old style alarm clocks with the flippy
Yeah.
doors like in Groundhog's Day.
Love it.
Get some tunes start playing. My first note is that it should have been Patsy Cline.
Yeah, I literally first note.
But a needle drop, Shotgun Willie by Willie Nelson.
Baby's crying.
Babies are an important part of Lost. We all are conscious of this. Kai, you and Eric doing Secret Baby Tomb, the episode.
Yeah.
JP and I dealing with the multitude of pregnancy issues with Dr. Burke and Clea. And so first thing I was thinking, I was like, okay, who's the baby?
Yeah.
Who's the baby?
Sure.
Babies aren't supposed to be on the island.
Right.
Babies
That was
are
my
weird.
thing.
Yeah.
I was like, how did this baby get on this island?
So this unknown couple. Oh, it's your turn. Okay, guy gets up, starts doing the stuff.
Starts doing the stuff, leaves the baby to cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you parent, right?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I know.
It's revealed quickly. I wrote Dr. Candle because I didn't remember that his real name is Dr. Chang.
Well, it's also Pierre. I thought it was Peter. And so when I clicked on Lostpedia and it said flashback Pierre, I said, who the fuck is Pierre?
We've seen this guy
Yeah.
a handful of times.
A bunch of times.
Up until this point, he has been a face in Dharma orientation videos for these stations that they do.
Yeah.
He's always gone by a pseudonym that has something to do with candles. Dr. Candle, Dr. Waxman, Dr. Wick, I believe, is one of them.
Dr. Yankee.
Anyways, Dr. Bed Bath & Beyond.
That peach Bellini scent, though.
So that's who it is. It's Dr. Chang.
Yeah.
And I guess that's his job is shooting orientation videos because
I get the feeling he's just in charge, so he also has to do that.
he's
you
a
know?
guy.
He doesn't have a dancing monkey for that?
Well, yeah. He walked onto set, was like, I don't read a script reads me, slapped it out of some PA's hand, sits down, is like, roll cameras, like, God, I wish my actors I had to deal with day-to-day were like that.
I wrote, fuck it, we'll do it live. I'll write it, and you shoot it, we'll fucking shoot it live. Fuck it.
Again, the world's most perfect film, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I have been ready.
Yeah.
Roll. But yeah, he just starts shooting one of these orientation films.
Yeah, I'm Dr. I think he says Candle. I'm Dr. Martin
Yeah.
Candle, and
Yeah.
here's your instructions on how to do this Dharma station. Blah, blah, blah. And then some knob rolls in. Doctor, sorry, there's a problem at the Orchid.
Wait, doesn't Dr. Chang, isn't he like missing an arm at one point? All right, yeah, you're smiling at me.
Right, this is a audio medium.
Yeah.
Yeah, in most, not all, in most of the orientation videos, he's missing an arm.
We got another hot tub time machine on our hands, on our hand, baby.
If he doesn't lose that arm soon, I'm taking it from him.
Is he as charming in other episodes as he was in this one? Which is to say, not at all charming.
Yeah, we're going to spend the next 45 minutes on the next scene because I could not handle this.
It was something.
It's something.
Choices were made.
Yeah. Or not made.
Whatever the problem is at the Orchid, this is also Dr. Chang's responsibility. On top of orientation videos, he's also got to deal with whatever the problem is over at the Orchid. So
Subcontractors.
So he heads over to this place where they're digging a hole. Things are underground here on the island. We realize that they're at the barrix at some point.
Yeah.
So we know this is old Dharma shit, whatever it is.
Right.
And so he heads over to this Orchid. And we don't know what the fuck it is. But it's some sort of construction site, workstation, something like that. They've been trying to drill something about the rock that they're drilling in has been destroying drill bits, and they just keep trying to drill.
Yeah.
Direct a drill bit. Let's just get another one to keep drilling.
Yeah. It's gone through 6 carbon drill bits.
And specifically is melting them.
Yeah. And then some guy who was working just got zooted.
Also melted, maybe?
Yeah, he said he had to hold his head. He started to freak out.
Yeah. but the foreman or the site manager is just like, don't worry about it, Doc. We're gonna just blow this shit out of this rock. We got this. And Doctor's like, there is a source of power behind that rock that, if exposed, could undo like the space-time continuum. And this is the first time this Teamster is hearing about this.
I do think it is so funny that the foreman's standing over the dead body of his worker and is like, I don't know, we'll blow it up. It's fine.
Oh, I am obsessed with the Dharma contractors
he
now.
Had no reaction at all. No reticence to be like, I don't know, this dude died by being near this.
Yeah.
It's like, send another one of them.
We've seen a little bit of the Dharma of the 70s, and we can assume this is also the Dharma of the 70s, sort of, in the previous episode that we watched.
Yeah.
Whatever. The Dharma Initiative, throughout the first 3 years of the show, you get the impression that it's all scientists and communists and utopians and all these people who want to build sort of a better future through science and communal living and all that. But it turns out that it's really just a bunch of jagoffs and maybe like 4 or 5 smart people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at Roger Workman, right?
Yeah,
Like
Roger
Ben's
Workman.
dad.
Yeah, he was trying to cope with the death of his wife, and so he just signed up to take a submarine to some unknown island, and then became a drunk janitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, when you say it like that, it does sound pretty good.
That actually sounds all right. But the guy, he's also like, we did a sonar imaging of it, and here's a picture of what it's inside. It looks like there's a wheel from a pirate.
Just a wheel,
stuck in the wall.
Yeah.
I also, just for a moment here, I know this is a hard thing to discuss because it is a visual thing, but when they show the sonar image, it looks like, a 2D image that you would draw a pirate's wheel.
Yeah.
And the wheel is the wrong direction when you turn it.
It's horizontal,
so
not
that means
vertical.
that they had to take the sonar image from above.
Right, not from the
So
side of the
either
wall
they're
that
going
they're on.
like all the way through the ground, which would not work well, I would imagine. I'm not a sonar expert. You should have asked a sonar expert, I suppose, but
Honey,
that's
why we have you on the show.
I'll work on it. You're
thinking in 3D, and I love it.
I was very confused about the angles involved with this particular image.
That makes total sense. Yeah, what's on the other side of this wall? We'll go 50 feet up and penetrate sonar through the ground and find out.
Other than, instead of the 2 feet away that you are from the tunnel.
Precisely. Well, and at some point in this conversation, when the foreman's like, there's some wacky shit on the other side of here, the doctor's like, yeah, and we're going to use this power to go back in time. And the look that the foreman gives him is like, yeah, whatever. Like, he's
working 9 to 5,
There is such a disconnect between what the Dharma Initiative is doing and these, like, miners that are just, like, working 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's like, okay, whatever, Doc. I guess we'll stop drilling and you can do your weird shit. They also, the foreman says something about, going back in time. What are we gonna do? Kill Hitler? To which I thought, I don't know, go back and kill baby Ethan. But
you can't. There are rules. You can't kill sources of pure evil like Hitler or Ethan.
Yeah. Well, you could try.
We will see a lot of people trying to change things through this episode.
But yeah, thanks to the shoddy carbon drill bits, they did not unleash the limitless source of power that they were drilling into unsupervised without a clear plan. Yeah. And Doc walks off and is like, it's so hard to find good help.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very apparent in the dude he almost takes out.
Yeah, he bumps into this other jagoff who's carrying an oxygen tank or something.
He's got a helmet. He's probably supposed to be
balloons.
There. It's something, whatever. That dude comes over to the first guy, this foreman or whatever. He's like, that guy's talking about sending us back in time. Isn't that crazy? And then a man who has traveled through time to join him here at the bottom of the cave is like, yeah, that's nuts.
I did think it was really funny that the doctor's reaction to his suggestion about killing Hitler was like, that is absolutely stupid and absurd. I think he uses the word absurd.
Yeah.
And I think it's hilarious that he's telling someone about the concept of time manipulation for the first time. And then when that person suggests, like, are we going to do something with it? He's like, you idiot. Of course not.
Right. We're going to go back in time. Are you going to change something? No, we can't.
Then why
are you doing
What
it?
are we doing here?
What are we doing? Are we just going to go look at things that already happened? Because they have a thing for that. It's called books. Like,
speaking of books, Doc, why you got that
you
sports
got
almanac?
sonar. Come on.
We're going to give dinosaurs sonar and find out what happens.
We're going to go back 2,000 years ago and figure out why Titus Welliver put a wheel in a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan Faraday's there, and he's not supposed to be. He's from the early 2000s, and he's there.
You know, he changed things by moving around that tank of oxygen or whatever.
That's what I'm saying. Has nobody watched The Butterfly Effect?
Maybe he didn't. Maybe that air tank had to get from wherever it was to wherever it is, and he was the one that moved it.
Anyways, that's the cold open.
Yeah.
Sorry, we've been talking for 3 hours.
The first 3 episodes of this season of Lost on Lost have been relatively tame on us, I would argue. You know, we watched the premiere of season 4, which kind of, you know, we got all the information we need to tackle that.
Bunch of rules got established. It was really clear.
Yeah, we watched a late season 6 episode that was very much a standalone piece of information.
Yeah.
That gave us some, you know, historical context and stuff like that. We watched a season 5 episode that was a bit of a reset on sort of where this season leads to. This
episode.
It was a piece of television.
Yes.
Certainly.
It was 7 subplots in a trench coat.
We cut back to what I assume is the present from the title card. Funeral parlor. We've seen this funeral parlor before, hypothetically, in the season 3 finale, and we didn't know who was in the coffin. Well, now we do. It's Locke. Locke's dead.
The two of you gave me the most honest and concerned look.
I just didn't think you were emotionally prepared to see it on screen.
Well, I mean, he's alive later in this episode, so I'm cool with it, you know.
But yeah, I mean...
I was concerned you needed to pause the episode and take a minute.
But that's... Okay, so if we're establishing that as present time, then everything that happens on the island is also a flashback, even before they go jumping around through time.
Yeah, but it would ruin the surprise if they put everything under the flashbacks listed. You know, for all those people who read the Lostpedia article before watching the episode.
I mean, that's us.
Hypothetically, chronologically, this was the big ooh from this end of season 4.
Oh.
So this isn't technically the first time the chronological viewer finds out who's in the casket, but this is supposed to be a big deal, and
and it was.
I always knew. I mean, like, I've seen the show, so I know where Locke's arc goes. It's ups and downs and what have you. You know. And so I knew it was coming, and even then I was just like, oh yeah, that's kind of sad. Oh.
He's fine.
But then, he's
Walk
fine.
it off.
So, like...
I wouldn't say he's fine.
He's fine. He's fine. Yeah, walk it off, exactly. Jack is there, and holy fuck. Man, I've been drunk in my life. I don't know if I've ever been as drunk as Jack at that funeral. He's like, how did I get here? Where are you? John, why is Ben talking to me? Oh, you're dead. Oh, Ben. Why is John dead?
Where's your hot air balloon?
That dude, man, woo!
Yeah,
Jack's having one.
He's having 2.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Christian's dead, so he's drinking for 2 now. He's got to drink enough for an entire surgical team. Yeah, Ben just walks in. Ben's off the island and also palling around now.
Yeah, we know that the Oceanic Six is a thing. That was a thing that was established for us at the beginning of the thing. That. So we know that 6 people got off the island, but like between the next couple of minutes of this, like next minute of the show here, we found out that like maybe a bunch of people got off the island.
Yeah.
It does seem like anyone who was motivated to get off the island somehow got off the island, which is interesting because my perception of the island was that everyone was stuck there.
Yeah, it's supposed to be super hard to get off.
It was very funny to be like, oh, well, okay. Everyone figured it out, so...
Well, not everybody.
Why are we still talking about this?
There's upwards of 51 beach survivors, some named, some unnamed.
Yeah.
But Ben's like, we gotta get the band back together.
Yeah, snap out of it. Let's get some coffee in you, because we gotta take his body. We're stealing a body here.
Yeah.
Then we gotta go get Son. We gotta get Kate. We gotta get Hurley. And we
Sayid.
gotta...
But he does not mention Jin, which I'm very upset about.
I mean, did Jin get off the island?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, we do.
Do we?
Yeah, he's still in from the other... Never mind. No, this is the short answer.
Oh, I don't remember.
Ben says to Jack, what did John say to you?
Oh, yeah,
to make you such a believer? Because prior to the thing, and then prior to the end of the season 3 thing, Jack was like, he was the one who always wanted to get off. He wanted to, we got to get off. We're going to get rescued. He was willing to cheat, steal, kill, lie to get everybody off the island.
Yeah.
And now that he's off the island, he's like,
we need to go back.
We got to go back.
Yeah.
So then Jack's just like, and he's hammered, so he's just like, I don't know. He moved the island. What? Another thing that I'm totally aware of because I've seen the show before, and I was like, oh yeah, the fucking island moved.
So
Locke's dead. The island moved. The
okay?
The 70s are the present. Yeah, I'm fine.
So
Everything's fine.
So not only are our folks moving in time, but the island also physically moved, like in space.
Yeah.
And it's also moving in time, I think.
Yes.
It's moving at a different time than the people on the island are moving.
Yeah.
We cut to 3 years ago.
Oh my God. I've never been angrier at a full screen title card in my life. It feels like I've been watching this episode for 3 years.
Lots happened in 3 years, I guess.
Yeah.
But we flash because these are flashbacks. This thing that happens right here after the title card is
straight up a flashback. But it probably was, I'm guessing, the finale of season 4.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
So just to be like, hey, remember what happened last time? And then that is our...
Because there are some other clips of things that did happen at the end of season 4. We see everybody freaking out. The sky changing color.
Yeah.
Yeah, some dudes on a raft. There's a helicopter. There's some people on the island.
Faraday and Frogurt in a raft together. Man, that is a sentence I never thought I'd say.
I'm surprised you don't want to get it tattooed.
What makes you think I haven't already, baby?
You should get a tattoo of the Zodiac with the survivors on it, just on your chest. Yeah, Locke's with the others. This guy turns white, and then he's black.
That's a deep shade of purple.
Whatever. And then he's suddenly alone.
Yeah.
The folks on the Zodiac, Faraday, Frogurt, and whoever else, they were too close to the island when the island moved, and so they also moved with the island. The helicopter and the freighter are far enough away, so they didn't move with the island.
Yeah.
So we can assume that whoever was on the helicopter, we don't know everybody who was on the helicopter. We have a shot of Desmond and Sawyer on the helicopter.
Kate
on the helicopter.
Yeah.
We can assume that whoever was in the helicopter made it off. Whoever was in the freighter at the time, we have no clue. They also are gone, but anybody who was too close is still island.
This might be jumping ahead for just a moment, but there's a comment that Sawyer makes, or Juliet, I think the blonde, asks him why he jumped off the helicopter.
So Sawyer was on the helicopter, and he jumped off for whatever reasons. Whatever he said in that scene you're talking about, he's like, oh, so she would get away.
Yeah.
So he's probably talking about Kate. Whatever.
He's probably talking about Sun.
Well, then absolutely he should have jumped. But yeah, Juliet and Sawyer are on the beach by themselves. Bernard comes running out of things, screaming for Rose. Rose comes running in. They're happy to see each other. Everybody's kind of like freaking out a little bit. And then Bernard is like, we can't go back to the camp. Camp's gone.
Yeah. Sorry. I just wrote Frogurt on a boat. Bogart. Is that anything?
Ooh. All right.
Okay.
It kind of makes me think of yogurt.
Yeah. Well, his name is Frogurt because he owns a
Froyo
company store.
Okay.
Yeah.
Effective marketing. Makes me want yogurt.
I know. Me too. Let's go get some.
Way to go, Frogurt.
They go back to where the camp is supposed to be.
And everyone's just milling around like, oh, what happened?
We were, because they'd been on the island for better part of 3.5 months. They had a kitchen, they had tents, they had food stashes, they had water, they had all kinds of cool shit. And now it's just this beach. So
then a whole shitload of named characters, some who we know, some who we don't, all convene in one place and throw around a shitload of dialogue.
Yep. I only wrote one important piece of dialogue down during this scene.
What did you write down?
It's a question we've had.
Oh, yes.
Forever. We were always asking ourselves this, and we never really had a good answer. It was always just like, well, it's as
far away
whatever the story dictates.
Yeah.
Canonically, the hatch is a 15-minute walk from the beach. Faraday needs to see a man-made structure. Yeah. He's like, I need something, a landmark. Because he has an idea. He's trying to piece it together. He's like, take me to a landmark, a man-made structure, something like that.
Yeah.
And then somebody's like, oh, there's a Dharma hatch.
Yeah, it's Juliet.
It's 15 minutes away. It has been in the past a half a day's walk. It has been an overnight hike. It has been
5 minutes.
Yeah, it is within eye shot of it has been, no, it's 15 minutes away. That's the answer. Fuck all y'all.
You did
writers. Why didn't you do this 5 years ago?
Yeah. The only person who shows up in this, because Miles Miles, right? That's his name.
Yeah, Ken Leung. Yep.
Miles is there. Some redhead, who I just called Fivehead, also shows up.
Unreal.
Listen, I have a giant forehead. I get to say shit like that.
I don't think I noticed how big her forehead was.
It's massive. You could crash Oceanic Flight 815 on that thing. I have no idea who she is, what her deal is. I just hated her.
She seemed to know the physicist.
Yeah, because Miles says something about like, this is our physicist.
Well, and he got like real weird when he thought she was injured.
That's fine. She's dead weight right now. So
was Locke.
Thanks for coming on the
you.
show.
Thank you.
Good night. Wow. Yeah, but at least Locke's dead ass is running around the jungle still.
We cut back to the present.
Question mark.
Kate's house. She's got a nice place. I don't know how she settled down, whatever. Something that she was always hated to do and was afraid to do, settling down. She's got this cherry place, photos on the wall. She's got a little blonde, toe-headed toddler boy.
She didn't get back together with, what's his face? What's the name of that
Nathan Fillion?
Yeah, she didn't get back together with Nathan Fillion.
Oh,
She didn't get back together with her childhood sweetheart.
Oh, wait.
He got
Dead.
shot. The cop shot him.
I think every time I have seen Kate on screen, it has been in conjunction with her committing a set of crimes.
Yeah. She does fancy herself a bit of an outlaw, a bit of a criminal.
It's interesting that they sort of position her as being like kind of a darling little sweetie sometimes, when she's such a like she's kind of, at least from what I've seen of Lost, one of the more hardened criminals on the show.
She is?
Yeah. She is. She's not as hardened as Sawyer.
Right.
Like, she kind of became a criminal based on what
The
Kate
stove
did.
incident.
The third episode of Lost on Lost, which you were a guest for.
Etched in my brain forever.
But like prior to that, yeah, she probably kind of was America's sweetheart.
That's kind of how they like still.
I remember
sort
that
of,
joke you made was just like, Daddy's bad seed is like, why was she such an evil person prior
Right.
to this? And then she was driven to blow people up with a stove, and now she's doing all these other things.
Which was such a heinous crime that an entire U.S. Marshals team was dedicated to hunting her down 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
No, she'll beat your ass. She's probably technically, in a greater sense, and we'll find out more about this as the podcast continues, but she is committing fraud right now, technically, along with Jack. It's
not the first time she's committed fraud.
She has already, I was about to say, she had committed insurance fraud previously.
Yeah. So
and jewelry
fraud, petty theft,
frog,
and
petty frog.
Seemingly,
I'd like to pet a frog.
Seemingly, we can add to this growing list, baby stealing?
That's just an old habit
Maybe?
from the island. Everybody stole Aaron at some point.
Yeah, it's a thing
Do
where
we know this baby?
Yeah,
it's Aaron.
It's Aaron.
Oh.
Baby onion head Aaron.
Okay.
I think we asked in like the second or third episode of the season who the Oceanic Six are. We had only established who 5 of them were. It was Jack, Kate, Son, Hurley, and Sayid.
Yeah.
And now we know.
And now we know who the 6th one. It was Aaron.
Wait, was Locke not included in that? No, because he would have had to have come after the point. Yeah, okay.
He was on the next of 14 ships off this island that everyone pretended to be deserted on.
Oh my god, I'm so tired.
Some skeezy ass lawyers show up at the door. The one in the back looked like a murderer. He looked like a serial killer. Like,
right,
he looked like the casting notice said, okay, we need like a regular middle-aged lawyer type guy, and then his sidekick is like a serial
when they
killer.
don't say why he's there, they're just like, this is my associate. Why is this man here? Did he win like a sweepstakes to fucking be on Lost?
Is he a fucking baby stealer? Is like the second we find out that Aaron's not Kate's baby, he's gonna steal him?
Is he the doctor that's gonna draw your blood?
Is he every guy that hits on you in a bar?
Is he a vampire? Do you have to invite him in?
You have to tell him specifically he's not invited, and then he'll just hover there anyway and wait for your drink to go down.
Disappear into a cloud of bats. They're there to serve her with paperwork. They want to do not a paternity test,
a blood test.
A blood test to find out if Aaron is in fact Kate's child.
It's funny to me, the way that they phrased that request seemed to convey that they wanted to take her blood sample
right there
at the house, which seems like not what protocol would be.
Right.
I would not think that this random lawyer, who probably is not a phlebotomist, is going to be like, I don't know, roll up
like
your
you
sleeve.
Get serve papers to like
you would
appear
hand her
in court.
a paper and be like, here, go to this clinic within the next week, or you're going to jail for contempt.
Yeah, that was interesting. And I don't know if it suggests that they weren't lawyers, but she reacted as though like, everything was closing in. So like there seemed to be some credibility to who these men were.
Right, because they did just show up as like Bible salesmen and were like, Give us your baby's blood.
It was very odd, and I couldn't tell if I should take it as a credible threat, and that's why Kate reacts that way, or if these are just two more weirdos in a sea of weirdos who keep stealing this baby.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of weirdos and a lot of somewhat normal people steal the baby, so, I
don't think you can be normal and steal a baby.
It's just something to do. There's only so many things to do on the island.
I counted the coconuts again.
Right, you can only play so much golf and backgammon. Eventually, it's going to be like, everybody who steals the baby seems to be having a good time. So
it's probably a game to Aaron at this point.
They at least get a B plot in an episode.
This is a really sick game of hide and seek for this kid.
Yeah, but Kate's like, come back with the sheriff.
Right,
get out of my porch.
You ain't doing any of this shit.
Which is the right answer.
Right,
it's the only time I've ever liked Kate.
Yeah.
But yeah, she kind of feels the same way that you were feeling, Kai. She's like, there's something ain't right here. So she grabs her go bag and she grabs the baby.
She turns on the gas stove.
Yep. Just force a habit.
Yep. I mean, she could have lured them in, knocked them both out, turned on the stove, done
and then
a
got
Kate.
the insurance money.
Yeah, exactly.
The cops are sifting through the wreckage and they're like, oh my God, she dropped off the map, but I think Kate Kenmore Austin is back.
So they did call her Miss Austin.
Yeah. And I think this will be probably explained in better clarity in a different episode, but the Oceanic Six are all them because they are people who boarded the plane. So they know, everybody knows who was on 815 when it crashed.
Yeah.
And so when the six, quote, six are rescued, they have to be people that were on the plane. She could have tried to play off like she was Claire or something like that, but she is Kate.
But would that not, I mean, they had, I know this is largely referencing a different episode, but if they know who she actually is, why do they not care anymore that she killed a man with a stove?
That's a great fucking question.
They know who she is, and they're like, this woman stole a baby, she murdered a man, she went on the run. Why don't they just send someone to her house?
I think they might actually address it in an episode. This is all speculation, but I think they actually do, there's an episode where her and Jack, go before a judge, and the judge is like, well, I mean, we should throw you in the slam, but you were on an abandoned...
He was a shit bag.
Yeah, they're it's justified homicide.
Every woman should get one murder.
Right.
One murders.
And then
it did start to come out a little bit.
It did.
So I think they actually do address it, and I think they kind of give.
I love the idea that they let
if that were the actual
premeditated
reason,
murder slide.
Well, but also it's I don't know. I would assume they would have to do some sort of paperwork before Mars puts this fugitive on a plane, and she would have had to be over 6 months pregnant when she was arrested and put on a plane to be extradited back to the U.S. for Aaron to be her child and having given birth on the island.
You see, you're dealing with a concept that we here in the real world call reality.
Oh no. Oh no.
So I believe that some of these questions are questions, and probably part of the reason why this Oceanic Six thing doesn't turn out the way any of them hope.
Okay, all right.
But we'll find out. So, this is where we come back to the island.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, still the present?
I don't know.
I mean, what does present mean at this point?
Present time in the island. Sawyer apparently had an opportunity to get off the plane on the helicopter. He must have been with Kate, which Juliet's about, but get off.
Whatever.
It was an interesting reaction because I remember writing something down about is Juliet into Sawyer at this? Is that the new thing? But then he says the thing about clearly needing Kate to get somewhere safe. So is he still into Kate? And then prior to this exchange, when you see Kate in the house, there's a photo that you can see of Jack and the baby.
And Aaron,
yeah.
So she's a framed photo of Jack. So are we still doing this love triangle 5 seasons in?
And have Sawyer and Juliet become a thing in season 4?
Because she didn't react in a way that was I love that you did this for Kate.
Yeah.
We know that they're a thing in the 70s.
Yeah, but we don't later.
Right.
Wait, which they? Kate and Jack?
Sawyer and Juliet.
Right. But they don't go to the past until further into the future.
Right. Lovingly shipped by the lost community as Suliet.
Oh, she deserves better.
That's not the worst one I've ever heard, though.
And Sawyer.
No, I meant then Sawyer, not the name.
Sawyer does start to come good. So
does he?
Oh yeah.
Not before he assaults a woman in this show. This episode.
Yeah, my next note is Sawyer starts slapping folks.
He does go, give me your shirt, nerd.
He was so comfortable stealing this man's shirt and then threatening the redheaded lady.
Also, look at Faraday. Do you think he wears the same size as you, Sawyer? Like,
the glee that he was experiencing in that moment.
so
I get to slap a lady and steal a man's shirt.
Listen, I hate Fivehead, and she did kind of.
She seems fine.
No, she's.
And she asked a somewhat reasonable question, didn't she?
No, Sawyer tells Faraday, explain what's going on. He's like, I couldn't explain this to an astrophysicist. How am I going to explain it to you, Cro-Magnon man? And so Sawyer just open hand slaps him. Then Fivehead comes around and is like, hey, and he's like, come at me, I'll give it ya. You know, just like, you want some of this? I don't know why he's British now, but
we know he's Cajun.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden Faraday is able like, oh, I'm a genius. It's like we're on a record and it's skipping. That wasn't so fucking hard, was it?
Yeah.
To be fair, I would not want to attempt to explain anything to Sawyer. I would so much I would rather he slap me than have to sit there and try to make sure this man understands addition.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's smarter than he looks. He reads all the time.
Yeah, but he's reading like Ayn Rand.
Ooh.
Well, and are you there, God? It's me, Margaret.
Yeah.
Daniel tries to explain the island skipping through time to everybody, and the way he explains is actually
It's very concise.
for me, the audience. I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
He just needed his shirt threatened.
Yeah.
You know, people do really well under pressure sometimes.
You can hit me, but don't you dare touch my fucking button up.
It's his last formal shirt on the island.
Yeah.
He says something about we as a group must be moving through the island because everybody in your group's accounted for, right?
Right?
And everybody's like, everybody that we care about here.
Maybe.
Cut to
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, and Sawyer's like, not everybody. And then we cut over to Locke, out alone in the jungle.
Yeah, but he's soon accompanied by somebody.
Lost on Lost favorite, Goldie.
Just that wagon brought that plane down, baby. Couldn't handle that much cargo.
Ain't got the power, not rated for that weight class. He's standing on a hill. He hears a noise. The Beechcraft comes crashing down.
Yeah.
You know, the Beechcraft, the favored weapon to kill Boone. Favored heroin transportation device.
Home of Pit Viper with a katana sword.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure they only picked 3 physical scenarios, and then they made it happen like 4 times a season for however long the show goes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from like Locke's perspective, he's like, well, I'm going to go climb up there. I know it doesn't fall down. Like, you know, like.
I've watched like 3 episodes of Lost, and I have seen that plane crash, I think, 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
But that's interesting that you say that, JP, that he knows. Like, I wonder, because he wasn't there for Faraday's explanation.
Right.
So he's got no fucking clue.
Right.
But it's interesting because, like, yeah, do you think he could make that leap? Just be like, I'm standing here and I see the Beechcraft crash. Do you think Locke's enough of a believer to be just like, oh, I must have got sent back in time?
Well,
doesn't he
maybe
suggest that Ben has shared some information with him prior to that happening, though?
Well, yeah, Ben, they like part ways, and
when he runs into the other guy,
Maybe.
he says that
maybe,
Ben told him.
He tells Richard that Ben made him the leader.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't think about that like that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Locke climbs up into the plane. He wants to check it out. He wants to see if there's any survivors. He can start getting blasted at.
Blam, blam, blam. Takes one in the leg. Man, Locke's legs.
Locke's legs.
He spends an awful lot of time with a fatal wound without a tourniquet on it.
Yeah. Well, it's the island.
Yeah.
And then he has the ability to not only get the tourniquet on, but continue having these interactions where he is completely conscious and alert.
Okay, you know how I love when you do that tourniquet talk.
Yeah, I did actually write in my notes verbatim, tourniquet dash JP's hard ?
Yeah. All right.
Gross.
Now you know why we're engaged.
He got shot by local unknown horror.
Eldritch horror.
Yeah. Ethan Rahm back again. Oh man, talk about a guy who's been dead.
Yeah.
We've seen him die. We've seen him come back to life.
Talk about a guy who's been dead.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. We talked when Ethan was more central to the story about how Ethan was like soft launched as this just sort of tertiary survivor, and then like maybe the plan got out of hand and then he turned into a monster really quick. I'm assuming that this Ethan is before all of those events because
it has to be, because when the survivors first encounter the Beechcraft, they think it's been there for a very, very long time.
But here's the thing. Ethan sees this stranger in the jungle who's unarmed. He's shot him, disarmed him, dropped him out of a tree, and he says some wild stuff like he knows who Ben is.
I know your name.
And he's like, too bad, I'm about to plug this fool. Just like, that's his go-to is, I'm just going to kill another human. I was like, man, Ethan really is a monster.
Trespassers will be shot. Survivors will be shot again.
I don't think there is anything that he could have said at that moment to prevent him shooting him. I really don't.
The plate's full of Frogurt. Oh, sweet. Let me tie out that leg for you. Let's get some.
Blah.
Yeah, no, Ethan.
Blah, blah. Now I'll get your yogurt.
Yeah. No, I do. I think that, I think Ethan may be like a true psychopath.
Yeah.
The more we learn about him, I think that anytime anybody was like, oh, Ethan's a nice guy, that's him pretending to be a nice guy so he can get away with shit, like running the staff and murdering everybody and choking Charlie and all that shit.
Was he a baby on the island? Because I do feel like if you spend your entire life on the island, you probably are going to be a psychopath.
Ethan was, I think, born on the island. He's a newborn in that episode we watched. So
in
I
the
think
70s.
in the 70s.
So theoretically, he's never been anywhere off the island.
He has. When they pick up Juliet.
That's right. He does go back to the mainland with Richard sometimes to recruit new people. So he has been off the island.
Okay.
But he was born on the island, which, probably makes him a nut bar.
Yeah.
Too much jungle pudding.
Too much island juice.
Yeah.
Not enough yogurt.
God, I want froyo so bad right now. What time is it?
Ethan's about to shoot him, and then they time jump away.
Yeah.
Which probably spins him out a little bit. Ethan's just standing there, and he's like, man, that guy said some wild shit, and then literally disappeared in front of me.
He was probably so bummed that he did not get to kill him.
Ruined my day. Dear diary.
We cut to Son at the airport.
Looking
Oh my God. The love of
Sorry,
my
honey,
life.
turn your mic off.
No, that's fine. That's what I wrote down too.
Okay, good.
Yeah, like... She can do no wrong.
No, I did write down specifically too, like, if Son wants to kill Ben, I want to kill Ben. Because I will do whatever Son tells me.
Yeah.
The business suit all cleaned up, 10 out of 10.
Unreal.
Anyways, she's at the airport and she goes up to the person at the ticket counter and they scan her passport and the ticket lady has no poker face. Is like, I'll be right back. You wait right here.
You've been randomly selected for additional screening. We're not at security.
She did specifically say her name in a way that was like
Ms. Kwan.
Yeah.
They toss her in a back room and Penny's dad is there.
Yep.
What's his name?
Chuck Widmore.
Hey, Mr. McClutchin himself.
Yep, Charles Widmore. We met this guy a couple times. Desmond knows him because Desmond was trying to score and Charles was not having
He's a world-class turd.
Yeah, biggest piece of shit.
He gave that impression.
Yeah, he's not a nice fella. He was rude to my favorite boy, Desmond.
He apparently has enough pull to be like pulling folks out of line at airports.
Yeah.
And blocks her in this room and he's like, and he I pulled you aside because you had the audacity to talk to me in front of my dear friends and coworkers. I was like, what the fuck?
I wondered what she said to him because it sounds like all she said was we have a mutual interest.
Yeah, I hope she went buck wild on him and he was just like,
yeah,
it's
let's
your
plan
fault
a
my husband's dead. Yeah.
I mean, Charles is into some Illuminati stuff, but her dad's Mr. Peg.
Yeah,
it is
Mr. Peg's got
a wild choice to lock her in the room knowing that. Because, I would wager a guess that...
Make sure she's not armed.
Well, that, but also, don't know what their relationship is like in this time.
Right.
But I still think he would kill you and everyone you work with if he knew that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
It was interesting for him to make that choice knowingly.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like, all right, well, now that we're here, what did you want to say to me? She's like, we both want to kill Ben.
Yeah. And then Widmore gets hard.
Yeah. He's like, oh, we just become best friends.
We come back to Jack and Ben. Jack's shaving his horrible fake beard off.
He should just keep going. The eyebrows, the hair, all of it. Just start over. But Jack and Ben are watching TV in the hotel room. Jack was probably like, put on My Cousin Vinny. And Ben's like, I want to watch the news. And on the news...
Well, they're like, next step's easy. We'll just go over to Santa Rosa and pick up Hurley. We know where he is. Breaking, film at 11. Hurley's busting himself out of Santa Rosa.
Jesus
Murdered
Christ,
a
it's Jason
people.
Bourne.
And then Ben with his fucking one-liners always, I guess our night just got a little more complicated.
I get that he's probably supposed to be this way, but Ben is so deeply off-putting and unsettling to me that every time he says anything, I'm like, I hope everyone does the opposite. I hope the worst for you.
Yeah.
I hope you step on Legos.
The problem is sometimes he wants you to do the opposite.
Yeah.
Ben's one step ahead of everybody.
That's even worse.
He's really good at being evil.
Yeah, so that's they can't go to Santa Rosa because Hurley bust out of Santa Rosa.
But not alone.
Yeah, they're like, oh, Hurley killed a bunch of people on the news, and
And I was like,
Hurley.
that sounds like Sayid.
Yeah,
That doesn't sound like Sweet Boy Hurley.
It's either son or Sayid.
the two most deadly survivors. And yeah, so we cut to Hurley, and yeah, he's at the drive-thru with Sayid.
Who is looking
Dude.
just devastatingly handsome.
Devastatingly handsome and so tired.
Yeah. The last 3 years have both been incredibly kind and incredibly unkind to Sayid because he looks phenomenal and he looks like he needs to sleep
had
for 4
a hotter
days.
sequence
He's-
than the
he's-
next 2 minutes of this
They
show.
put some I like the curls, but he's got like some straightener in and clearly some conditioner. He's got some sheen and bounce going on with that hair. And I was like, what is happening?
He did look phenomenal. with
Yeah, he
curls,
looked
though.
great.
Yeah. They grab a little snack and then they are heading to a motel. Sayid needed to bust Hurley out for his own purposes. We didn't hear anything from Jack or Ben about having Sayid on their team.
No.
So Saeed's collecting survivors as well.
Well, yeah, because Sayid said that he was working for Ben, but now he
He
doesn't
said
trust
he had
Yes.
been working for Ben.
Yeah, for the previous 2 years, I think.
Between the scene with Son at the airport, this scene here, the scene at the motel with Jack and Ben, it's like, okay, so like the survivors, the Oceanic Six, they may not have the same goal. Some of them may realize that somebody's trying to get them back to the island. They don't want to go.
Right.
And so like now they're diametrically opposed. When they used to be 6 together coming home, now they're not. Now they're
That was the impression that I got because it seems very much like Saeed's trying to help Hurley come with him to get away.
to stay away from
group.
Ben. Yeah.
So Sayid is explaining all this. We've established that there was someone coming to either snatch or kill Hurley at the mental
he killed
institution.
some guys outside of Hurley's room. They were watching him. They were armed. He said that was enough for me to know you were in danger.
Yeah, so Saeed's like taking him to the safe house, but then his little safety, tape,
the hair over the door or
lets
whatever.
Somebody is coming in the room. Oh, snap. There's more guys there. We don't know who sent these people. We don't know who they are, but there's 2-3 more dudes who are all there to either kill or capture them.
Right.
Well, capture because they use
Tranquilizers. We hear this, sounds like a silenced pistol, but then we see that their weapons don't have silencers on them, and then Sayid gets darted in the neck.
a bunch of times.
This fight here in the safe house, man,
It's good.
this was a really good
The shot
action set piece.
Off
Holy
the balcony where they hold and wait till the guy hits the ground. I was like, this is great. That looked phenomenal.
Yeah, that was some of the better action we've seen in this show. That was really cool. The fight choreography, the using the environment. He waxed the one guy by dropping him into the silverware on the dishwasher.
Oh man, that was rough.
We were watching the episode, Adam, with your lovely father, and he pointed out the fantastic point. There's no way that dishwasher door is holding up to that kind of weight. And I was like, you know what? You're damn right.
And the fact that the knives were up instead of down.
And
Who loads a dishwasher that
anybody
way?
who loads a dishwasher knows you put sharp knives with the point down, so you don't stab yourself when you're unloading it,
Unbelievable.
or stab yourself in the back when you trip over it. But that was really, I remember just thinking that was really
yeah,
slick.
it was a great fight.
But yeah, just Sayid does get tranked a little bit. He gets zooted on tranquilizer a little bit. And Hurley goes to check on the guy that fell off the balcony. He picks up the gun, which is something you never do.
Yeah,
and then,
free gun.
Sure, but at a crime scene, he picks up the silenced weapon, looks over the railing. Several passersby take pictures of him with their camera phones.
I love this subplot that Hurley's now international assassin.
Yeah, according to the news, he's now killed 4
He's
people in the
spree
span
killing,
of a night.
Yeah.
This is my new favorite. I hope
I
this
love
subplot keeps going.
My subplot that I was hoping for was I was hoping that Locke was going to continue to be separated from everybody for a really long time, keep jumping through time by himself, keep getting caught by Ethan and almost getting shot, and then always jumping away before he could shoot him.
Just keep shooting in the leg over and over.
I wanted that to happen 4 times.
It's earlier and earlier in time every time, so he never remembers doing it.
Wow, who shot you? You did twice. Stop shooting me. Say goodbye, John Locke, if that is your name. It is, for Christ's sake.
I've told you this a dozen times.
So we come back to the island.
Oh my God, there's still so much episode.
Charlotte.
Don't care. I hate her. She's the new Claire.
Charlotte asks Miles if he believes that Widmore is still looking for the island. Widmore's looking for the island. Faraday might know how to stop the skips.
Oh, but he said something about the fact that Widmore, it took him 20 years to find the island last time, which is, I feel like, maybe
so if you run
important.
that back, if it's mid 2006, 5, whatever, go back to 86.
Yeah.
That could
which
be
is
important,
very interesting.
Which would be a few years, maybe that'd be a decade even after when we know the Dharma Initiative is in full force with the new recruits. Whatever.
Yeah.
Cut to Locke at the Beechcraft, the burned up Beechcraft because they've skipped. They were the crashing Beechcraft, now the regular Beechcraft, now the burned Beechcraft. So this is post survivors landing on the island.
Yeah.
And he's wounded, and Richard shows up.
Yeah. He ties off his leg with an impromptu tourniquet, and Richard shows up and is like, "Hey, Johnny boy, let me get a look at that bullet in your leg." And he's like, "How'd you know?" And he's like, "You told me." He's like, "No, I didn't. I fucking didn't."
Time travel jokes.
And Richard's like, "No, listen, this is a time loop. Kai, what'd you call it? A time
timey-wimey bullshit."
Yeah, this is some timey-wimey bullshit.
Sure.
Exactly. And he's like, "Listen, you sent me here. I gotta patch you up before you leave again. Next time you see me, I'm not gonna recognize you. You give me this compass." It's like, what is
What's
this?
it do?
It is points north. I think we all at least got a chuckle out of that.
That was fun.
That was cute.
I have a note. Why does Richard look hotter with cheater glasses that he's looking over?
Objectively, everyone looks hotter when they're looking over like the frame of glasses.
Not everyone.
You're supposed to look over here
Oh.
because I'm doing it. Is it helping?
Oh my God. We gotta
Oh
cut
my
the
God,
episode.
it's magnifying the huge bags under your eyes.
It's the difference between oh my God and oh my God.
But he's like, "Listen, I just need to tell you this. Everything is screwed up and all of your friends are in trouble and could die or whatever. You have to get all of your people who left the island back.
Yeah.
And you have to convince them. And the only way to do that is you have to die." And then he zips out.
He skips away. Yeah. That's
I don't think that's a very compelling argument. What if he just chooses not to die?
Right. He's like, "Well, what happens if I don't? Oh, we all die anyways?"
I mean, I guess is the choice he dies or everyone dies, or like including him,
Sure.
or is it like he'll be fine and feasibly find his way off the island because everyone can find their way off the island and then everyone else is just kind of screwed, because it seems like the choice everyone's made already.
And it does also, the implication is like, well, if the Oceanic Six got off the island and you have to convince him to come back, that means he gets off the island. He's got to leave, you know? So
Right.
Yeah.
Locke will be able to find his way off the island somehow. And we did see his dead body in LA. So
Right.
we cut over to Sawyer's group looking at the hole, doing some pondering.
They skip again.
They jump. The hatch is back.
Juliet the line is poorly written and she was given nothing to do with it.
Mhm.
And so the performance is great as the hatch. It's back.
Yeah.
After she uncovers it for everyone to see, she then has to turn to camera and say that line. And it's pretty rough.
I think you can tell how much the actor really hated that line.
Yes.
Because
She's like,
she delivered it so deadpan, so flat.
Yeah.
Just like
give me something
the
else. Otherwise,
hatch.
this is what you're getting.
Yeah.
That's it. All right. Moving on. Next shot.
Yep. Sawyer's like, well, I obviously need a shirt really bad. I also want to grab a couple of beers. So I'm going in. And then Faraday's like,
Yeah.
no, not only is time like a record, it's also like a street. So it's like a street and a record. If it didn't happen, it can't happen. So like all we can do in time is observe events that have occurred. Those are the
Right.
rules. Those are the rules
So-
for all us normal time traveler folk, the normal ones.
So it does beg the question, what the fuck are we doing here? Why are we doing this? If nothing can change and everything is predetermined, why does anyone care enough to do this? What is the point of anything at this point?
We can't change anything unless you, I don't know, assume false identities and get into the Dharma Initiative and fundamentally change things.
Maybe unless you're Desmond, because
No, I was going to
he's
say
got-
there might be a hotness threshold. So like
Oh,
two people can change things, Jin and Desmond.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
the survivors end up in a photo of like the class of the Dharma people. They changed it.
But the thing is, we didn't see that photo before the time skip, so maybe they
So
were
they were always
in
there.
that photo. They were
This
always
is
in
why
that
I
photo.
hate timey-wimey bullshit, because it doesn't mean anything. Nothing happens.
Well, no, yes. you hate bullshit. Because that's why Back to the Future is fun.
Yeah.
Because you can go
Yes.
back in time and change stuff,
Right.
and then it has its consequences.
That's when there are consequences,
Yeah,
but just
you can accidentally
can't
erase
change
yourself or
anything.
bang your mom or whatever. It's great.
They should have included more mom banging, is all I'm saying.
Okay, so then,
Yeah, he can't. So he talks him out of it. He's like, "Fine, fuck, I'm going back to the beach." Fuck it.
It's like, it's been a long day. Let's go back to the beach. Come on. Come on, big guy.
He needs a nap. You know, we all
Let's
gotta
get you
rest.
an Uncrustable.
And then Charlotte's like, "Come on, Danny, let's go." And he's like, "I forgot my bag. Go ahead without me. I will be 20 minutes behind you. I promise."
In the least sincere. Oh, I forgot my bag over there. I'm definitely not doing anything else.
Also, you never know when you're going to skip. So, like,
Right.
maybe have that bag close by you, because I assume that if you're not holding on to it, it just...
It would
Right.
be so funny if time skipped and he lost his journal full of notes.
Yeah.
The thing that I was thinking about it was like Sawyer goes into the hatch and then they jump 1,000 years ago and he's stuck in the ground. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. That's the thing with time travel. You also have to be able to move in space. Otherwise, the Earth is in a different position.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But also, it wouldn't work because then that would change things, and
Right.
he can't go
So
back and
he
change
can't.
things.
So
So he never could get stuck in
It's
the ground.
like in Flash Forward when they realize that because they had visions, they're invincible, and so they can't get shot, so they can go skateboarding, they can
Yeah,
fly. It's just like that.
It's just like that. Maybe
Except
he
sometimes
ends-
you can get shot.
Except sometimes you can't get shot.
Yeah.
Charlotte has a nosebleed, which I wrote down here is never good if you're in a time travel situation. Because that's just your brain. It's your brain leaking out of your head. Yeah, Danny goes back to his bag and he gets out his journal and he's like, "Oh, you know, I wrote down some stuff about the last time I time traveled, so I'm gonna go do this while I'm time traveling." He pounds on the door. He's like, "I think this will probably work."
Yeah.
The fact that he looked at his notebook to decide that means that it's more diary than it is like research notes. And I just love the idea of him being like, "Dear diary, on the island, still wore this shirt today and Sawyer tried to take it." Like, I would pay so much money to read these diary entries.
This is my Tuesday shirt. He can't have it till Wednesday.
I secretly don't want him to put a shirt on because he's very cut.
We have a real will they won't they thing over the shirt.
What if I just took my shirt off?
He pounds on the door and Desmond's like, "Would you knock it off? I am trying to listen to Geronimo Jackson and ride my stationary bike. Fuck off."
I'm playing with all these mirrors.
Are you him? Are you my replacement? No. My name's Danny. Nice to meet you. Here's some information that you will need. I'm going to deliver it slowly because I've got all the time in the world.
Yeah. Everything's fine.
So you need to go to Oxford where you meet me. He's like, "I don't know you, nerd. Get away from me." And then he disappears.
His button up, idiot.
That looks like if a guy with muscles put it on, it actually looked like it fit. Desmond's special is what Danny tells him. He's like, "You're special. You can go back and kill Hitler. You can do stuff like that. Your
Yeah.
rules don't apply to you because of your hot."
Yeah, that's the only way that I will accept any
Desmond's
of
like,
this.
"That makes sense."
Yeah, he got magnet farted, so like
Pardon?
Yeah, he's got magnet fart juice on him from an earlier time.
it knocked all of his clothes off and threw him not only into the jungle but unstuck him from time.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard for you to understand?
Daniel can't finish his message because he gets time skipped away. He said one of the last things he says, "You have to find my mother."
Don't have sex with her. That's my job.
Oh, maybe we're just too early. Maybe he does get to go have sex with his mom.
Somebody definitely has sex with his mom, but we can talk about that later.
Oh no. Yeah, I mean probably his dad, right?
Yeah, whoever his dad is.
Oh, fuck.
We cut back to, I get the present. I think Desmond and Penny are happily sleeping in bed, and Desmond has a memory nightmare dream. I was on the island, brother. And she's like, "Quit calling me that." She's like, "You're fine. It was a dream." And he goes, "No, it was a memory." They get up. They're on a boat. They live on a boat. And Desmond starts cranking up the anchor. And she goes, "What are you doing?" And 10 minutes goes by. And then he says, "We're going to Oxford."
Des, I told you don't need to finish your degree. I love you anyways. That also makes no sense in the timey-wimey bullshit. Like, if it's happened in the timeline, why is he just getting the memory now? Like,
Because he's special.
ugh.
Daniel said he was special. He's special.
I also love how wildly unsympathetic she is when he wakes up.
Oh, yeah.
He is covered in sweat. He's clearly panicking. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. Can you shut up, please?
I dreamt I was on the island. She's like, that was 3 years ago. Get over it.
Right? Like, are you still traumatized? Come on.
Post-traumatic stress still.
You better not fucking say any time travel shit to me or I am leaving this boat.
To be fair, she probably hears so much time travel bullshit. And I would also be like, if you say another fucking word, I'm done.
Go ahead. Just say time loop again. I fucking dare you.
Also, I was trying to figure out if that was Penny's boat, not Penny's boat, or Cynthia Watros' boat.
Elizabeth?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Because you left. That's question one. Did we like it? Was it good? That is the thing that we always ask ourselves here at the end of the episode of Lost on Lost. Did we like it? Was it good? You can like something that sucks. You can hate something that rules. Kai?
The final note on my notepad here is the word yikes in all capital letters. I did not enjoy this piece of television.
Yeah. I mean, I feel the same way. I did not care for this, but like I wish the story was smaller. Don't try and fit all these plot lines into one episode. I think about what's the one where Claire gets her memories back that we were like, this is a useless episode. Anyways, I don't remember the name of that one, but like it's weird to think that this episode we have to cram so much into this. We're like, let's just focus on one thing or another. Like Lost viewers are used to like having to wait long periods of time before getting answers to things. Cut 2 or 3 of the storylines out of this and just focus on 1 or 2 of them. It's way too much. I also
don't feel like, even if I had the background, which I don't have because I have only seen
we don't have a lot of background either.
I don't think I would want this much perspective in each of the jumps.
Sure.
When you jump, give me one person to focus on.
Right.
Giving everyone at every point in time from the 70s to the aughts, I don't care anymore.
Sure.
Because it doesn't mean anything. Nothing can change. I don't know anything about anybody and no one's the focus. So it's just feels like you're slogging through all of these events that don't have any like weight to them.
Yeah. Adam, how'd you feel about it?
I liked it.
Okay.
Granted, again, I have more context than the two of you. My context is very old because I haven't seen season 4 finale in years. I haven't seen episode 2 of season 5, but I enjoy chaotic stories. And this is, I think chronologically, it's better than it is here by itself.
Sure.
But even by itself, I was sitting here, I was thinking to myself, I was like, fuck, man, I cannot wait to watch episode 2. And not because I don't know what's happening, but I just like, this is a season premiere. They had the summer off. They've got to get the audience back on the hook. All of that.
I don't think I realized this was episode 1.
This is episode 1 of season 5. So it's a bunch of
They left on a bunch of cliffhangers.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff happened at the end of season 4.
That would have been enough for me to be like, yeah, I'm off the show.
And yeah, I mean, some people didn't like it.
I'm sure people who were into it who had to wait all summer were like, hell yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
For just watching it as a singular episode television, this was too much.
I think it suffers a lot from being out of context for us, but I really liked it. Does that mean it's a good episode? I don't know. I was having a lot of fun. I thought the action was a lot of fun.
Sure.
I thought tossing everybody around. I'm not necessarily a subscriber to the fucking idiotic tech bro mantra of move fast, break things, but sometimes it does work.
Sure.
And I was like, everything's on its ear. Like we've taken everything that what limited shit we know about season 2 of Lost on Lost here, and we just upended the whole fucking thing. But we've been playing it safe, albeit by the virtue of random.org.
Thank you.
And now shit's buck wild.
Yeah, now we had a delayed reaction to the what we thought was the security of season 2, and I feel like this is probably more of what we're in for.
And I'm all for it. So
I'm excited.
But beyond that, I was like, yeah, this wet my whistle for the rest of season 5. Too bad I can't watch the rest of it.
Yeah.
I do think that there were some really interesting and fun moments, like you were saying earlier. Like the fight scene was genuinely
good.
Engaging.
Yeah, that was great.
It was really well choreographed. It was really like, it kind of had me on the edge of my seat a little bit.
The Sayid and Hurley assassin duo.
I would
adore.
I would watch a spinoff show of just the two of them trying to get away from Ben.
Yeah. Oh, so good. But that's Hurley. Hurley carries a lot of the weight of the show.
So a little bit of a mixed bag, but there we are.
Yeah.
Totally anticipated that being the case.
For sure.
Sure.
Well, let's do some MVPs, shall we?
Yeah.
So
let's
Lost
do it.
MVP, who was our favorite? Who did we, we didn't want to focus on all these people, but who, Kai, would you like to focus on a little bit more? Who did you enjoy most of Because You Left?
I would have to say probably Sayid.
Sure. Solid pick.
He's not there for a very long time, but every moment he's on screen, it adds.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not just because he's hot, but because he's engaging.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
JP.
The Teamsters, Local 344, baby. These guys are just trying to get a paycheck, just trying to work. They just got them bennies. They're like, listen, I'm supporting a family back home, and they're doing the best with what they can. Adam,
I think Faraday. He's annoying, but he is like the one attempted spot of order in the chaos.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I get it. Everything's real off.
yeah,
I'm going to try to get it off.
sure.
So, and I like Jeremy Davies. I liked when he was added to the cast in season 4. He was
He's
one
a
of
solid
yeah.
actor.
So the character of Faraday can at times be a little abrasive and annoying, just because of he can be kind of a know-it-all occasionally. But in this episode, I like the fact that he's attempting to right the ship a little bit. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to Faraday.
For sure. Yeah, the character has a lot of potential for us to like him a lot down the road, too. Cool. Well, then the flip side of the coin, who was your least favorite? Who was your lost forever? Who could you really have done without? Kai, I'm willing to guess. I could guess who yours is, but
You say who you think.
on 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Sawyer. Oh, sorry. Do you want to try it again?
I was going to say Sawyer, so yeah. Expound. Go ahead.
Oh man, we'd have to record for another hour for me to really get all the way through it. He's just the worst possible version of what he could be in every moment.
Sure.
Even the moment where he's like clearly done something for care of another person, he clearly loves Kate, is still annoying.
Yeah.
Like he's still a fuckboy about it. And it's obnoxious that I don't know, when he threatens to slap Charlotte across the face, I'm like, yeah, this tracks for this character. Him wandering around shirtless all the time and then being like, I'm gonna steal this guy's shirt. I'm like, yeah, that tracks. This guy's the worst.
Yeah. I mean,
that's fair.
to have fuckboy energy walking around with no shirt on doesn't help.
He
It's
is
gotta be
pretty out of pocket this episode.
So obnoxious being stuck on a deserted island with this man. I guess
Yeah.
it's not really deserted at this point, but Sawyer's the worst. I thought in earlier seasons of Lost on Lost, my bottom tier person was Kate, and Sawyer quickly surpassed her.
Wow. Okay. That's fair. There's an argument to be had there.
Yeah. JP.
5-head.
Charlotte.
What's her? I don't fucking know. Did they say her name in the episode? I
They
don't
did
think
not.
so. Don't know who she is. Don't know what she's doing. She's given me she's got stage 5 Claire face right now.
Sure.
I'm digging Claire more as we go along. She's got Nikki and Paulo. Remember I'm here too. Yeah, could deal without her.
I think it was 5. I think there were 5 new characters at the beginning of season 4. We met Naomi, Faraday, Miles, Charlotte, and Lapidus.
Naomi, she only makes it to.
She didn't make it very far.
Yeah.
But those were the 5 new. Those were the 5 freighter additions, and she's one of them. I remember what each one of their specialties was, except for Charlotte's. I don't remember why she's one of the core 4 that comes to the island from the freighter.
Just her specialty is wearing a V-neck. Adam, lost forever.
Ethan. The guy's a psychopath.
Yeah.
God damn, dude. You winged him. Then you're like, you can't get information out of a corpse.
Yeah.
I'm just going to blast you because you said some weird shit. Dude,
Right.
why are you so weird?
Right. At that point, they are quote unquote the others.
Yeah.
Right. So there shouldn't be anybody else on the island. So from Ethan's perspective, unless this is pre-survivors. So he's just oh, here's a person. I know we don't come across people very often. Rather than find out what his story is, I'm just going to blast him.
My personal headcanon is he was walking around in the jungle with a gun, hoping to find someone so that he could murder someone.
Yeah. It's just called being in the army.
Yeah. But yeah, Ethan, goddamn, rein it in, dude.
Yeah, totally fair. That's a great one. Kai, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yes. Kai will be back. Adam, what are we watching next time?
Excellent question. If you out there want to be lost with us, come on back for season 5, episode 13. Some like it Hoth.
Did you say Hoth?
Hoth.
Like the planet in Star Wars?
Yeah, some like it Hoth.
That's the worst Tennessee Williams play I've ever heard.
Cat on a Hoth tin roof.
Yeah. Exactly.
Featured character, Miles from the Freighter.
Oh,
The
okay.
guy from Rush Hour. That he's absolutely the guy from Rush Hour.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
that's something.
That'll be
So
something.
we're just never getting any of season 4 again, are we?
We will not see a season 4 episode for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, and I know y'all been missing it. I know y'all been itching, wondering, waiting, asking. We will also be watching Missing Piece number 8, Buried Secrets, featuring Jin, Sun, and Michael.
I forgot Michael was in this show. This is gonna be rough.
So yeah, Some Like It Hot and Buried Secrets.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, cool. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, Adam. And thank you, all of you out there, for listening to this episode of Lost on Lost.
I'm Adam.
I'm JP.
You have any idea what's going on in the show?
Not a clue.
Me neither. Lost on Lost is produced and edited by me and JP.
We wish to acknowledge that we live, work, and produce our show on occupied land.
Burbank, California is located on the traditional tribal lands of the Tongva, Chumash, Kizh, and Fernandino Tataviam peoples.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin is located on the traditional tribal lands of the Peoria, Potawatomi, Miama, and Ho-Chunk peoples.
And Lost was produced in Hawaii on the lands of the Kanaka Maoli.
Visit native-land.ca to learn more about the land you live and work on.
You can engage with us on IG, Facebook, and Twitter at Lost on Lost 1.
You can also email us at wearelostonlost@gmail.com or support us with dollar monies at coffee.com/wearelostonlost.
Thanks to Lostpedia and its community of contributors, Danny Schmitz, random.org, and as always, you the listeners for tuning in.
We're hosted at Podbean. You can hear us there or wherever you get your podcasts, except MySpace. We're not on MySpace.
Yet.